Let's go. Let's go. We back.
Yo. What's up, everyone? Welcome to MMAHOLICS. Thank y'all so much for joining us, most definitely. I'm your boy, Antoine. As always, it's my boy, Nikki. Before we get started, I always like to ask my main man how he's doing. He's getting more into MMA, practicing jujitsu, really not even practicing at this point. He's a full blown competitor, competing in competitions, really assessing the talent in that region of New York. But how you been, though, Nikki? How's your grappling and training been? And how you been overall?
It's been good, brother. It's been good. Missing the channel. We had a few weeks off. Last time we went live, it was the night before my competition. I got ankle locked, sprained my ankle at the tournament. So I got silver that weekend, but I came back home, got my blue belt the next day, and we've been chilling, bro. We've been good, training hard. NBA season's in full effect right now, and we're only like 10 games in. Me and Antoine, be texting the group chat, like having arguments and conversations like every few days about the NBA. Dude, if you guys don't watch the NBA, it's just as good as the UFC. I promise you. It's amazing. But I've been good, dude. How you been?
I've been great, man. Like no arguments, always just conversations. We've been doing this for over a decade, so we're definitely used to this by now. But yeah, nah, man. I've been great though, just working, writing all the time. Just brought a piece today about the Los Angeles Lakers. If you want to go check that out. It's on the lead sports media. The Lakers are playing really good. They're like 8-3 right now, the Lakers are. So they're
Yeah,
looking really good. And that's with no LeBron. So it's really interesting to see how they're performing without him.
Luca
And
and Reeves, dude. That duo is crazy. I didn't.
yeah, they've been fucking shit up. They're like the only two guards right now to be averaging like 30 points per game a piece. Austin is averaging 30 points a game right now. He had a 50 ball
Yeah,
at one point on
you
like
can't
October.
deny him, dude. His narrative around him changed big time. Like
I
he was
agree.
getting compared to like quickly years ago, and Jalen Green. Now he surpassed them for sure, dude. He's getting to like that Ty like as a Heat fan, he's getting to that Tyler Hero level, and I can't deny it one bit. Like he's up there now.
I think so too. I think the way he's able to score in lethal spurts like Tyler can, like how Tyler can really catch flame,
Like a
really catch
Zach
fire,
Levine, you know?
right?
Yeah.
Mhm. I agree. Like, yeah, and it's really just for me. Like, I am curious to see if he will make the All Star team this year. I am really. I think it's funny we got the purple as our colors, but I am genuinely curious about that. If he can make the All Star team this year, because I just want to see him pass that threshold. I want to see him make it into that realm. He can. He has the talent. It's just a matter of beating other franchise players. Try to make it that far, but we do know this is an MMA podcast, of course, as always. But got a historic card. It's pretty funny. I was on YouTube in the comment section of that countdown, which I've still no, I watched it. I watched it. Yeah, hell yeah, I watched it. I was in the countdown and I was talking about how this is like one of the greatest cards. I've been watching. Literally said this. I wrote this in the comment section. I said I've been watching UFC since 2011. You feel me? The first thing I ever watched was the Ultimate Fighter 15 season with Dominic Cruz and Uriah Faber. And I only say that
Damn.
to say this because it's not like no like hipster shit or whatever. I literally only say that to say that this is one of the greatest cards I've ever seen. On paper, 1000% is having two title fights on it, three certified all-time greats, all competing on the same night. All three of these people could literally headline. They have headlined their own events, so it's great to see all of them competing and fighting for history on the same card. I think that's not being talked about enough. Having people disrespecting the Whaley and the Valentina fight and shit like that. I think that the fact that we're having, because we haven't had three title fights in a long time, this is like something like the best title fight pairing we've had probably since UFC 311. But of course, we didn't get to see Islam versus Armin. So how do you feel about UFC 322 as a whole? And do you think it's a historic card given like the undercard and the title bouts?
This card bangs, dude. Like it's really good. The prelims are solid. Solid. Like it's pretty good prelims. There's a few fights I really like. Uh there's a few really good fighters on the prelims too. But that main card is like a real main card. Like every fight on here, I'm looking at it right now. Those are five really good fights. Like
Mhm.
every fight is something to look forward to. I'm gonna forget one of them. Like I'm gonna be watching the fights. I'm gonna forget one. I'm gonna be like, oh, what's after the Benil and Saint Denis fight? And it's gonna be like Carlos Prates preview. I'm
This is
like,
Leon
oh
Edwards.
shit, who's he fighting? Oh, Leon Edwards. And it's like, oh wait, what's the fight after this? It's like, oh, Sean Brady. Like, dude, it's a really good card. It's just like every fight's gonna be like, oh my god, that felt like the main event. No, we still have 2 title fights, and then we're gonna get a title fight. Like, oh wait, we have a main event after. So I'm super excited for this card. Been talking about this one for a while, and like bias aside, like who my favorite fight. Like I'm an Islam fan. That was when we first, you first put me onto the sport, bro. That was the first fighter I got attached to. So like, bias aside, it just makes the card even better for me because I love when he fights. Love this fight style. Love the team, love the camp, love everything about it. And
Mhm.
people gather around to watch him, bro. They came out to Jersey. They come out now. It's in New York. He's getting in America. He likes it here. He wants to show off in the biggest arenas. He was in LA. He was in Jersey. He's
Well,
in New York. So he
he
wants
was
to show
very
out
good.
over here. Australia. He likes it everywhere. So and that Australia Russia rivalry, not rivalry, but little tension. We'll call it a little tension. It's a goodie, dude. I think it's gonna be a really fun week.
I agree. Yeah, it's like both nationalities have like all time certified all time greats inside the UFC. Both of them do. So and both hold championships as well. Of course, when Magomed Ankalaev lost his belt, Islam, of course, I mean, I still unless he
He's still a
loses.
champion, He's
I
still
was
a
gonna say
champion.
like I still see him as the champion. He has to lose for me to see because he never like no one ever beat him to take that belt. So he has to lose for me to have to see him as the champion no more. I still see like I think that an interim title fight headline UFC 317. Let's put it that way.
Exactly. He still has
Uh,
the belt in the poster too, so the UFC knows what it is.
Because they couldn't just let it was too big to promote. Like it's two super fights on the same night, and it's clear that they're not gonna allow any more like simultaneous two division champions. You can go up and chase a second belt or like a third, but they're never gonna let you hold two divisions up ever again. That's dead. Last one to do it was Henry Cejudo. So Henry's probably gonna be the last one to ever be like a simultaneous two division, and it's better that way. It's only four
Yeah.
throughout history, so I think it's better that way.
And don't
Makes it
forget
more.
Whaley's chasing double too, so
Mm-hmm. Exactly, and like that's the thing to me. Two, like I said, two all-time greats. You can make the case why at least like the third greatest strawweight. I think Rose is above her, personally, but I do think that both these title fights are historic, and I think that the undercard is probably one of the best. It is the best pay-per-view this year. I'll be honest. We started with 311. We're all the way at 322, and 323 will be the last one. 323 is amazing as well.
yeah.
When we do get
Yeah.
to that next month, we will savor that for sure. That is amazing as well. But these two title fights are super fights. So I just think this card's definitely above the rest this year. But we can go ahead and get started though. For sure. I want to thank y'all for joining and watching. Absolutely, most definitely. Um, and yeah, I guess the first and foremost, what do you rate the card on paper? 1 to 10. This is their annual New York City card. They go here every November. And the poster itself literally looks like a movie poster. So, how do you feel about this pay per view from top to bottom
Top
rating?
to bottom, I give it a 9. A 9. Uh I if they could have threw a few like over the top prelims and it would have easily been a 10. I
Mhm.
think there's solid prelims on here that's holding it back. I mean, when you think of a perfect 10, you think of UFC 300. Uh, like that's a 10, and you compare everything to UFC 300. Like the White House card will be a 10. There's certain events that are 10s and it's hard to top. So I give it a 9, pushing 9.5.
Mhm. I agree. Yeah, like what do you think stopped it from giving it a 10 to you? What do you think kept
You
it from
could
being
have thrown like if you had like a Chase Hooper prelim and you had like like you change some of these fights like the first 2 fights of the night, like they're gonna be cool fights, but like you just put bigger names there. I think everything else. I mean, you got the Wellmaker, you got Tracy Cortez and Blanchfield. Uh, Daukus is pretty cool. Mearshard the vet. Sabatini's a good one. This is a rematch. So I mean, I think it depends. I really like these fights are all bangers. Honestly, like honestly, like this is all like really good fights. And no disrespect to this fight, I feel like if you swapped out these four for a few bigger names, I think it just changes the narrative a little bit, and pushes into like that greatest. Oh, this card's the greatest of all time. Um, but yeah, it's right there.
Mm-hmm. It definitely looks like it. I think like looking back on this card, poster and all, we're gonna be like, this is one of the greatest cards we'd ever seen. Styles make fights. Sometimes you can hype a card up and it not deliver, but nah, like all like stylistically, all these fights will deliver 100%. They've been made this way on purpose, like when they always go to New York. So and it's definitely one of the strongest New York cards in the last few years for sure. Last we had 295. What was the New York card last year? I can't even because
Wasn't 295 Alex and Yuri or no?
that was Alex and Yuri. That was in
That was
Madison
New
Square
York, yeah.
Garden. I'm trying to remember what was the one after that.
Vegas, that was Colby and Leon.
Like in November though. Like what happened last November?
It was
Damn,
it was Alex and Yuri and then
that
Tom
was
and
last.
Pavlovich.
Damn, really? Holy shit, man!
Yeah,
Damn, yeah, you're right. Because
yeah.
that wasn't the
And
verge
then the
of
next card
fuck.
was Leon
Was
and
it?
Colby, and it was
Because that was two.
Shavkat
That
and
was 295 though. I know.
Shavkat and Ian Gary. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm not even trying to even be like, cause 310, yeah, cause that was
No,
UFC.
that was
310 was
2 years.
in December. Yes, Ian Gary versus Shavkat. That was in December. Like
Okay, so I
past
was thinking.
Cora.
So what was MSG last year? Because I'm thinking of MSG 2 years ago.
I don't think they went like UFC three. It was John Jones versus Stipe
Yeah,
Miocic. That's what
there
it
you go.
was.
There you
Yeah.
go. There you go.
It's gonna be a
I was
minute.
thinking
I'm
2 years.
thinking like,
I was like, wait, I was over at college during the Leon Edwards fight, so that had to be 2 years ago. Yeah.
yes, because yeah, Michael Chandler versus Charles was the co-main event. Yeah, damn,
Yeah,
it took me a
yeah.
minute. But yeah, we can go ahead and get started for sure though. Absolutely. Starting with the first fight of the night. I won't be too long on it because I do think that it's a pretty good matchup for Camilo. I think the pattern is there. Really, just get the fight to the ground. We've seen Slava still struggle with the wrestling from the moment he's touched down in the UFC. Even being at a gym like Team Alpha Male, who have a slew of good wrestlers. I just think that he hasn't been able to really just get a grip on it. Honestly, like, it's really been hard to implement into his game. And it's hard when you're in a fight. Like your training partners aren't going to go as hard as they would in a real fight. So I think the game plan is there for Camilo. This fight was added on relatively short notice as well. And I do think Camilo is going to start off the night with a decision win. I think he'll just wrestle him on the way to a decision.
I think he'll win by sub Camilo in this one. I think the grappling difference is just too different. I think it benefits Camilo. He hasn't picked up his first UFC win, but I think he has a good. It's gonna be a good striking matchup. I think they're even there. I just think the grappling advantage is too big, so I'll go by sub to start the night.
And going into Baisanger Susurkayev versus Eric Makhachev. This dude's fighting again. Like that's like his third time. Nah, this is well technically Mikan Contender Series, yeah, but it's his second time fighting this year already. So definitely wants to get paid, wants to be active. Got that UFC check, and he has not looked back, understandably so. He's a great fighter, has really good striking, good body kicks, good leg kicks as well, in my opinion. He's getting better with the hands too. But really, his better bread and butter, in my opinion, is the grappling. Like he'll really play around, as you can see, as you saw, until he has to implement it. But when he wants to shut the fight down, he can implement the grappling, just like any other Russian, of course. He's undefeated, so he has the confidence of an undefeated fighter, and you can clearly tell he's very skilled. He's super young, so he's nowhere near the true potential of what he is going to be. And I think this guy's going to start making noise for real next year. I think he'll get a rank. I think he'll be in the rankings by the end of 2026. So, yeah, I mean, I got Baisan Susurkayev to win this fight, be a first round submission.
Submission, all right. I got Sirsakai to win this one by knockout. I think this is a very one-sided fight. He's a undefeated prospect. I think he has very well-rounded skills. He had that finish against Eric Nolan on early notice. I think it was like, yeah, it was a 5-day or 4-day short notice. Um, Macanio, I mean, I don't think he has anything that's going to take out a prospect. When I looked at it, and it doesn't really show anything. It doesn't have too much of a threat that scares me. So I'm going to take Sir Sakaev to win this one by knockout.
Mhm. Going to the next one, got Fatima Klein versus Angela Hill. Angela overkill. Yeah, this is a pretty compelling fight. You could give your first pick if you want, Nikki.
Yeah, man. Angela Hill with another fight, dude. Last time she fought, I'm like, dude, every time I look at a UFC card, she just happens to be on it. She just sneaks her way onto these cards. Pushing 41 years old. Now she's
In the strawweight division.
facing a 25-year-old with only one loss. To who? Jasmine Jasdovicius, dude. So like, it's I don't know, Angela. Was Mother Time gonna show yet? She's not bad though. She's still good. She still is what she is. Klein is looking like a pretty good prospect. She's looking pretty well rounded. I think she could get this one done with a decision. I think she's going to get this fight to the floor, and she could just steal the rounds from Angela Hill.
Moving on up the card,
Who
Chippy
do you got? I don't
Marston.
think you gave your pick.
Oh shit, my bad. I did not. Yeah, I asked you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just started talking first. I was gonna go with Fatima Klein via decision. I just think Angela is hard to finish. I do think Fatima is gonna impose her will with the grappling early. Just a real best route to victory. And really cerebral, trains with Aaron Blanchfield. I believe they're partners as well. So always, iron sharpens iron. And they're both two really, really well-rounded fighters. So I'm pretty sure she'll be good anywhere the fight goes. Um, and yeah, I got Fatima Klein, most definitely. And moving on up the card, we got Tepe Marskal versus Pat Sabatini. Um, this is a pretty underrated fight, in my opinion. I think it's kind of difficult. For some people maybe, but I feel pretty confident in it. I was gonna go with Chippe Marscal to get this fight via decision. I think he can get the knockout, but I think I'm picking the safe bet of decision, and I do think that he'll be prepared anywhere the fight goes to be able to stuff some of the takedowns from Pat Sabatini. If he gets taken down, he can grapple, and I think he is the better striker here. So I was gonna go with Chippe Marscal to win this fight via decision.
Yeah, I'm on the other side. I got Pat Sabatini getting his revenge. They fought back in like 2018 in LFA, I think it was. Um, Chepe, like he's super high pace. I think he's gonna try and do the same thing he did last time. I think he has more confidence going into this one. I think it was a 6-fight win streak he was on, and yeah, he just has more confidence. He already beat this dude. But I think Sabatini has grown a lot. I mean, he's 35 now. Let me just see the age. 35 now. And his grappling is just really good, dude. I think he learned from that loss, and it's so much later in his career now that this is a fight he just knows he could get. I think he should be able to control this fight. Chepe is just going to be very overwhelming, so Sabatini just has to get this one on the ground. If he does, Chepe is going to try and scramble, which he's pretty good at, but I think Pat's improved. I think he'll be able to hold him down, do his thing, ride this one into a decision.
Mhm. Damn, I'm not gonna lie, man. This next one kind of hurts. I'm not gonna lie, man. I guess I'll keep it short and sweet. No need to break it down. I already got my pick. It's really just for me. I'm wondering where Gerald Meerschaert goes from here. He has so many fights. Like 57 fights. Like that's ridiculous. As a professional, um, that's just absolutely insane. Cutting weight that many times, getting hit that many times, in so many fights. You've seen him get knocked out cold in the past, and I think that's gonna happen here. I think if Kyle Dawkins, if he's knocking out Michelle Pajeda, I definitely think he can knock out Gerald Meerschaert. I think he's gonna come back, after turning a corner, really changed his mentality, and he's just going for it in the cage every time he's in there now, whether it's win or lose. So I got Kyle Dawkins in my first round knockout. I think he's gonna be super aggressive and want to get him out of there, and I think it's gonna happen, make the crowd go crazy.
All right, I got Daukus winning this by knockout. I wasn't sure about first because I think GM3 is like one of those fighters who could completely turn this fight around or just surprise people. I am picking Daukus to win by knockout. I mean, Mearshart on a 3-fight losing streak at 37 years old doesn't look good. And then you got Daukus 32 years old, and he's still seen really good comp for the age difference between them. Daukaus has still seen really good comp, so it's not like there's like GM3 has seen all this, that, and the third compared to him. Daukaus has the size and the power advantage in this one. Then on the off chance you see GM3 throw in a fucking wrestling master class and just completely take the fight, it can happen, but we're gonna both take Daukaus to win this one by a knockout.
I think it's written in the stars, and I think he'll just be super aggressive in the first round, stuff them takedowns. Gerald's gonna be shooting out from super far, due to his drop in athleticism, and I think Kyle's just gonna take him out on the feet. We'll see what happens. So it's a fist fight. Anything can happen, and Gerald is a veteran, of course. Going through the ESPN prelims now, got Malcolm Wellmaker versus Cody Haddon. This is a great fight. I think they're really high on Malcolm Wellmaker, fighting out of Augusta, Georgia, my neck of the woods. I'm from Atlanta, but Augusta's like 2 hours away. He's a great fighter, outstanding power, great footwork, good striker. Undefeated as another undefeated fighter, so he has the confidence of an undefeated fighter. I just think he's looked good ever since touchdown in the UFC. Say what you want about the competition, Chris Moutinho and stuff like that. The Cameron Simon one was a good win. I did think Cameron Simon was a good fighter, and the way he slept him like that out cold really showed he really does have the death touch. And man, like I think Cody Haddon's also a good fighter as well, coming out of Australia. But I just think that Malcolm's gonna hit way too hard in those exchanges, and I think he's gonna knock him out in the first round. And I think he's gonna have a big 2026, probably get a ranked opponent to start next year.
Yeah, dude, Wellmaker's the truth. I haven't won this one by knockout too. I was a little worried. I saw a lot of people online also saying that like, oh, don't sleep on Haddon. I mean, he doesn't look bad. His only loss is to Steve Urseg years ago. I think Urseg is pretty good. Uh, that doesn't make sense. Hold on, wait. What weight class is this fight?
Bantamweight.
Oh, so okay, that does make sense. I thought they were 145, so it was making me think for a second why that could happen. Anyway, keep going. Head on. I mean, he could wrestle well, so I mean that is the one thing that we would need to see from Wellmaker. But Wellmaker's just good. He has that right hand. He's so good at backing up and landing that right hook that I just think that poses a big threat for these people who got to close distance and shoot. I think as long as Wellmaker's takedown defense is there, I think the striking will take him to a knockout win for a lot of these fights he's going to be getting, and he's going to climb right up the rankings.
Okay. Yeah. Going to Aaron Blanchfield and Tracy Cortez. This is a really close fight. This is another rematch on this card. They fought a long time ago. Tracy did get the victory, but a lot of people thought Aaron won. This is a good fight. I could break them down, but they're kind of like the same fighter in a way. Really heavily grappling flyweights, will strike if they have to, but definitely prefer to grapple. It's a close fight, man. Like I think people are sleeping on Tracy Cortez. I think she can get the win here. I think Macy. She'll be prepared. I mean, I said Macy. She's supposed to fight Macy Barber. It's a close fight, man. I do think it's a close fight. Like I think a lot of people are disrespecting Tracy Cortez because they think she might just worry about marketing herself more. But I do think she's a great wrestler. I like her control. She's just very very strong for her size. Getting better with that boxing. We saw her go through a lot of adversity on the feet versus Rose Namajunas. She took that fight on short notice though, so. And with Aaron Blanchfield, we saw that she did lose to Manon Fiorot, couldn't implement her game plan at all. Wrestling was nullified, had nothing for her on the feet. So, can you pull up Aaron's record? I forgot who the other person was that she lost to. Yeah. It was just Manon. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I thought I forgot. All right, cool. Man, I think this is a really close fight. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's gonna be a dogfight, man. I do. I think it's gonna be super close. I don't know if Aaron's gonna be able to hold Tracy Cortez against the fence like that. And I think I think it'll be kind of like how it was at the first fight. She had all right. I mean, again, some people thought Aaron won, but it was close for a reason. I thought Tracy was competitive in that first fight. Damn, man, because some people are just gonna pick Aaron just to because they both lost their step up in competition. You know, like she lost to Rose, while um,
Yeah, it's very competitive. I mean, they're
Aaron.
definitely on the same level.
You know what I mean? Like, fuck it. I'm gonna go with Tracy Cortez, man. Like,
All
fuck
right.
it. You know, I think she can win the fight, bro. I do. I think she can win the fight 100%. I think if she tries to get her to the ground, she'll be fine with the scrambling. I think Aaron has better control, but I think Tracy is really good off her back. She can get back up to her feet. She's a great wrestler, like I said. On the feet, I think it's about even. They're gonna go at it toe to toe. And I think it actually might play out on the feet, the fight, because it might nullify with the wrestling. I think Tracy will be prepared for the wrestling 100%. She comes from a family of wrestlers. Her brother was a wrestler before he passed away. So, um, man, like I do think that she can win this fight. I think it's gonna be super close, and I think she might take it by split. And I was gonna go with Tracy Cortez by split decision. They could fight again in the future, like how they're fighting right now. They have the same amount of experience. I just think I don't know, man. I think like some of Aaron's wins, like the Jessica Andrade win, like that was way like she was way past her prime. Um, and like she lost to Manon, but of course Manon's a great fighter. We saw what she did to Jasmine Jastovicius, and she went 5 rounds with her. So obviously she's a good fighter, but I do think that Tracy can get this done. Just off the stylistic matchup, and I was gonna go with Tracy Cortez to get this done
All right.
uh, via decision split.
Um, like I said, I think they're both very close on the levels. They do have similar games. I think Blanchfield's wrestling has improved more since their last fight, which I think Tracy was better in the first fight. So I'm just saying, I think Blanchfield's wrestling has gotten to the level of Tracy's wrestling for this fight. So that's where I think they're on the same level. I do think for the striking, while Tracy Cortez is good at just applying pressure moving forward, I think Blanchfield has better technique on the striking. I think
You
she has
said
better
Aaron.
boxing. Huh?
You said
Yeah.
Aaron
Blan-
just moves for.
no, I think Cortez moves forward better.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I
Gotcha.
think Blanchfield has the better technique, the better boxing. So, while I think the wrestling there's going to be a very close fight. There's going to be a lot of scrambles, a lot of cage fighting. I think when the fight's on the feet, I think Blanchfield outdoes it just with the technique. I think she'll be able to land cleaner strikes to the face. Um, nothing like a knockout or nothing or like dropping her. I just think she's going to be landing those jabs maybe throwing across, and then they're going to wrestle. But when they're striking, I do think Blanchfield takes the edge. And I guess I'm going to use that to pick Blanchfield to win this one by decision. Because, like I said, Tracy has a very good wrestling game, but Aaron Blanchfield's wrestling has improved much since their first match. And that one went to a split decision. So, I mean, it's going to be close. I just don't think Tracy's going to be winning any striking exchanges in this much. So, I'm going to take Blanchfield to win this one by decision.
And going into the next one, this one's a banger as well. You told me this one was giving you a lot of problems, so I would like to hear who you're picking first in this one.
All right, dude. This one is really good. It's a really cool fight. We got Roman Kopylov versus Gregory Rodriguez. For Roman, dude, this is very similar to the Paulo Costa fight. Like that wasn't something I took into account till later, and I think that plays a big factor of whether the Paulo Costa fight is something he learned from and he has understood now, or is it more that he still struggles with that kind of forward pressure? Because Gregory Rodriguez, I mean, he's tough. He has super nasty knockout power. He has world class jujitsu, and he's just relentless, dude. Just RoboCop will just walk for it all fight, not worried. He gets punched in the face. He gets teeped. Like Kopylov's good at that range and keeping distance and sniping you, but Gregory Rodriguez isn't going to stop just because he got sniped. I mean, he's still going to try and rush at you, try and bulldoze through, corner you, and just violate. So, and also once he gets on top, if this fight was to go on the ground, Gregory Rodriguez is insanely disgusting on top. He has nasty ground and pound. Um, I think this fight it's like that sniper versus like that brute force ruthlessness in this one. Um, I think Rodriguez has a very good chance to knock out. Uh, but honestly, I was thinking this through, and I just think that Sniper is gonna get his shot in this one. I think Gregory or Kopylov is gonna head kick him because I mean he's Kopylov plays at his range. Even if he's being pressured, if he's on the back foot, he has very snappy kicks. And I think Rokov's gonna be down here chasing him and just right to the net, put him out cold. That's my pick. That's my I guess my fan. Everyone has one like fantasy knockout of the card. That's mine. I got Kopylov winning this one by a head kick knockout.
That's not a bad pick by any means. I was gonna disagree on this one too. I was gonna go with Gregory Rodriguez. I just like his well-rounded game more than he's a good grappler and a
Really
good
good
striker.
grappler.
I think he has great power on the feet as well. I think he'll be safe anywhere the fight goes. It's just a matter of him playing it smart, imposing his will, and not sitting out there trying to have a pretty kickboxing fight. I do think he can drop Kopylov on the feet if they do get the striking, but I think he'll try to make it dirty, knowing this guy's a good kickboxer, get in his face, clinch him up, try to get him to the ground, get some blood in those arms, just really try to get a judo throw here and there, similar to like that hip toss how he did on Chidi Inchikawani when he beat him, kind of. So I do think he can kind of implement the wrestling, and I do think he will have more power. So I was gonna go with Gregory Rodriguez to win this fight. I'll say second round KO. I think
Okay.
it's gonna be a fun card. Yeah, I got
Yeah,
I
if
got
the
second
fight
round.
slows down, it goes to Kopylov. But if it's fast paced, I mean, you got to go with RoboCop in this.
Mm-hmm. And going to Benil Dariush. I mean, sorry, my bad. Bo Nickel versus Adolfo Vieira. This is a really interesting matchup because obviously, like they gave Bo a really good grappler here. He has to. I mean, the floor used. I mean, the floor can't be lava at this point. Just look at who he's fighting. Like you have to use your wrestling. I do think Bo's gonna do that. Show this guy no fear. I don't. I mean, I think Adolfo might have a better jab than Bo, even though like, cause he's kind of stiff because he's like super muscly. But
Yeah.
I think he's getting him. I think he's getting better with his jab technique. Adolfo Vieira. Um, if it hits the ground, I think it's gonna be kind of even. Bo's the better wrestler, while Vietta's gonna have better submissions. I think Bo's gonna have better control. So we'll see how that goes. I'm just interested to see how Bo's gonna approach it. If he's gonna choose to strike with him, it didn't look like good in the Paul Craig fight. Of course, he could have got better since then, but we saw how we struggled also in the RDR fight. But looking back on it, that was just a massive step up in competition for him. So, it's a close fight. I'm gonna go. I'll go with the athleticism of Bo Nickel, man. I think he's gonna. I think the striking would have improved. I think if he takes this guy to the ground, I think he can control him. He is a good grappler himself. Really fast transitions on the ground as well. So I got Bo Nickel to win this via decision. And I think it might be another hard fight for Bo. The crowd might boo again, but I got Bo Nickel to win this fight.
Yeah, dude, Bo Nickel fights are really weird. Like he avoids wrestling with grapplers and then he wrestles against strikers. I mean, it's don't get me wrong, that's like the smart thing to do on paper, but at the same time, like if you're a world-class wrestler, you should be using wrestling in every fight. I'm not a big fan how he completely avoided wrestling Paul Craig. Um I don't I, that doesn't sit well with me. I know Paul Craig has good submissions, but it's just showing that you're shying away from your best skill set because this guy has a good skill set. You know, it's mixed martial arts, and you should find a way to always mix your martial arts. His striking to me is average. I think Vieira's striking also is average, which makes this fight completely close. I don't think Bo Nickel's gonna walk through him. But he does, like you said perfectly. Bo Nickel has a big wrestling advantage, and Vieira has a really big jiu-jitsu advantage. And it's interesting how it plays out because when this fight does go to the ground because I think at all costs Vieira is going to try and get him down. I don't think Bo Nickel's going to knock him out. He does have knockout power. He's done it before, but I don't think he's going to knock him out. Vieira also has knocked people out, but I don't think he's going to be knocking Bo Nickel out. So being that I think this fight's going to get to the ground one way or another, um, Bo on top is like, that should be a ride. Just ride him out, get your rounds in. But it's interesting, dude, because this is like a world class jujitsu guy. So like when he eventually does find his way out, like it gets interesting, right? Because once he gets to those like positions where Bo Nickel's not really in control, right? He's in his guard. Or my logic is like if Vieira gets to a leg against Bo Nickel doesn't have that much jujitsu experience. I mean, we've seen it. He had the match. Was Gordon Ryan. I mean, it's Gordon Ryan. Don't get me wrong. Vieira is a world class jujitsu guy too, though. If Vieira gets to a leg, it gets very scary. I don't think Bo Nickel has anything for leg locks. If Vieira gets to a leg, I think he heel hooks him or something. That's if it gets there. If it gets on the ground, I really hope this fight gets to the ground just to see what Bo Nickel does against high level jiu-jitsu. I'm gonna take Bo Nickel by decision, but a Vieira by sub is like a little cool something to play with. I don't even know what the odds would look like, but it's interesting because, like I said, once that fight gets to the ground, jiu-jitsu guys are very tricky. Wrestling guys are straightforward. I want to be on top of you. But jiu-jitsu guys, they could get their sub while you're on top of them. You know, they got like a buggy choke or some bullshit. So like, there's always something up the sleeve with jiu-jitsu guys.
No, I agree. Yeah, man, I do think it'll be a fun fight. It's just gonna be cool to see the evolution of Bo Nickel. Seeing that it kind of hasn't gone how you expected it would.
Nope.
When he touched down here, most definitely.
He
Moving
said,
on to
"Don't
the
be
paper,
surprised, guys, when I get my title fight if I'm minus 10,000."
and like that's the thing too. He was calling out Hamza and shit like that. You know, like he even called out, and not Ikram Alaskara called him out. That's how that went. But I don't know. Like I most of all, I'm excited to see the evolution of Bo Nickel in this fight, most definitely. Moving on to the next one. Beneil Dariush versus Benoit Saint-Denis, the pay-per-view opener of one of the most greatest pay-per-view cards I've ever seen for sure. It's exactly where I needed to be, man. I keep forgetting this fight is on this card. You did say that was gonna be a thing. This is a really, really good fight, man. Like Beneil is extremely well rounded, has good striking, good grappling, can literally grapple with the best of them, and can strike with the best of them. We saw him fuck up Hanato Moicano in that last fight. He was beating his ass from pillar to post. Just looked great. He looked like he wanted to be in there. He felt so alive. You could tell in that post fight press conference, he just felt so fucking good. In that fight, he just felt good to be alive again, get a win after losing 2 in a row, especially that Armin lost, getting knocked out in a main event in the first round like that. So for Benoit Saint Denis, kind of same as Beneil, he does have good striking as well. Kind of doesn't have the best defense in my opinion. Kyle Prepperlek was landing some shots on him, and Prepperlek is not that good of a fighter. But Benoit's a great wrestler. He has good jiu-jitsu himself. Fairly good gas tank. We saw him gas out versus Dustin Poirier, but we saw that he had a staph infection. So, but when he's fully energized, that first round Benoit is extremely deadly. So, Beneil has to look out for that most of all. But they're both really, really good in my opinion. I do think that Beneil has fought the better competition. I mean, he has way more fights than him, so naturally he has. But and you could say Benoit is definitely in his prime right now. He's not even 30 yet. Benoit Saint Denis. So he got here like 25 when he was in that Zaleski fight. Crazy to look back on how long ago that was, almost 5 years ago now. Uh, but for this one, I was gonna go with Beneil Dariush to win this fight. I think he'll be able to beat this guy anywhere the fight goes, whether it's on the feet, on the ground, all of that. I trust his gas tank a little bit more. He has gone 5 rounds. He has had main events before, trained for 5 rounds multiple times. Been in bigger fights, fought guys like Charles Oliveira and stuff like that. So I think that not Benoit, Beneil, it's the battle of the bees. I think the BDs. I think Beneil.
BDs is crazy.
Uh, I do think that Beneil can get this win. And I think he's gonna win, honestly. Win in dramatic fashion. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm tired. I think he'll win in dramatic fashion. He's looked really good in my opinion. Like in that last one in particular, I just thought he looked really good. Turned a corner, looked motivated. Especially coming off a devastating loss like that. And again, for Benoit, really coming out here fighting with getting another step up. We saw the Dustin did not go his way. Then he got fucked up by Renato Moicano in Paris, which I did not see coming at all. And so did a lot of other people.
I think I picked Moicano for that. I'm not gonna lie. I think I picked Moicano. I want to check real quick. Let me check my notes.
And you saw that Beneil destroyed the same guy that destroyed Benoit. Not trying to be lazy. MMA math doesn't work all the time. But I got Beneil Dariush to win this fight via 3rd-round knockout. I think it's going to be fight of the night.
I didn't even pick. This is my problem. I never put a pick in my notes for the main event. I always maybe leave a few notes, but I never put a pick. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to know what I'm going to say once it comes around. That's crazy. For this fight, dude. So you got Benil, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude. I'm riding the Benny decision on this one. It's a very interesting fight. Benil Dariush is definitely best known for his grappling, and he has very technical striking. It's nothing crazy. It's nothing to fear. I think it's solid striking. I think the scarier fighter here is Benoit Saint Denis, but it just depends how long he's going to be scary for. And like you said, at best the gas tank is a big worry. Um, yeah, I just think like Benil Dariush has enough grappling to get by in the division, and then his grappling just takes him to the next level. I was talking about with someone at the gym, and he said it perfectly. Like Benil's at that level of the division, like with the Gamrots and those guys. Like that's his level. He's not at the top, but he's not under those dudes. He's just at that level of those high level lightweights that can get a title shot, but they're not like title contenders at all times. They're not like the Charles Oliveira's of the division. Benoit, if he wants to win this fight, he just has to bulldoze Benil, and it could very well happen. I do think it could happen. Benil is getting up there in age, 29 versus 36. They are very similar in size, but I think if this fight slows down for 1 second, it just favors Benil Dariush. It's just like the other fight we were just saying. Like if the fight slows down, it favors one fighter, but if it's fast paced, it favors another. So like I think Benil could show him levels in this fight, like quite literally show him levels if this fight slows down at all. And that fight it could slow down from just a jab to the face and his nose. He starts bleeding, and then he starts breathing a little heavier. That's all Benil needs to win this fight. Then when they're grappling, I mean, yeah, Benil could scramble out of anything, dude. He's actually pretty insane with his grappling.
Mm, I agree. Like that Gamrot fight showed it for me back in like UFC 280. That was he looked great. The way he was able to scramble with that European, like really just like from pillar to post, all over him, like attacking heel hooks and everything. Just really, really when he's motivated, he really is one of the best fighters in the world, in my opinion. And I was gonna go with Benil Dariush to win this fight, and hopefully still get back to chasing the title. He's still very much motivated at 36 years old. Going into the next one of the most entertaining fights of the night, in my opinion. Two high level strikers. You could give your first pick, Nikki. Go ahead.
This fight is insane, bro. This should have been the Rio main event, dude. Um, I'm in love with this fight, dude, and I've been telling people my picks, and they've been saying I'm crazy, so I guess I'm spoiling my pick. I am taking Leon Edwards to win this one by a decision. Uh, Dude, here's my thought process. Like, I think people have completely pushed aside the skill of Leon Edwards off of his last few fights. I mean, you think about it, he became the champion off of a fluke win, right? But like he set that up, bro. Like the leg didn't kick itself, bro. The leg didn't get up there in the fifth round when he was completely drained. He kicked that head at the perfect time. You got to give props. And he came out in the rematch and he fucking wrestled Kamaru Usman, dude. Like he brought the fight to Kamaru, and then the Colby Covington fight, like he dominated Colby. I don't care if Colby is washed or not. Colby did look decent in that Buckley fight, well, in my opinion, when the fight was finishing before the eye poke. But
Yeah.
he dominated Colby Covington, and then he gets the Bilal fight, a wrestler. That's a fucking tough fight for him. Then he gets the Sean Brady fight. That's tough. A wrestler, really two really good wrestlers, and he can't fight his fight when he's so worried about a takedown. He gets this weird like I don't know if you guys remember in the Bilal fight, but he gets this weird defense when he's like this, and it's like you can't. It's just not gonna work, bro. I think people are too quick to fade Leon after that, and I'm gonna get to Carlos Prates in a second, but I just think Leon is so technical and he's so good, and his thought processing in a fight when he's in control is just so high level. I mean, he was dominating Nate Diaz in that fight until he got rocked at the end of the fight, and people act like the whole fight changed because he got slapped in the face and got rocked. I mean,
Mhm.
like sure, but like he was in control that whole time. That was the last time he really fought someone who was just gonna strike. So Prates, on the other hand, there's no doubt about it how high level he is. He has the range and the height advantage in this one. He has those nasty teeps and he could kick and elbow. It's like a pure Muay Thai specialist. He's really good. He has insane knockout power. I just don't think Carlos Prates has fought someone that's this freaking technical and good. Like who Prates fought Jeff Neal, a very good striker. Gary, he lost to Ian Gary, someone who's very technical. Think about that. And Gary wrestled him. But I mean, I just don't think Prates has seen someone who's as good as Leon, and this is 3 rounds. It's gonna be tough. I do think this is gonna be an uphill fight for Leon Edwards because of the momentum, but I think the narrative's gonna change real quick when people see just how good Leon Edwards is. He spent a whole training camp just striking, not worrying about a single takedown. If Prates takes him down, Leon has enough, scrambling to get up. He got up off of Usman, so in this fight, I'm going to be taking Leon Edwards to win this one by decision, get back in the track, and the world is going to remember just how good Leon Edwards is.
Yeah, we broke it down perfectly, man. It's not really much else I can add. I got Leon as well. I think he's fought the better
Hell
competition.
yeah.
I think he's fought the better competition, beaten the better competition. I thought Protest really laid an egg when he fought Ian Gary. And then that was in Kansas City in that main event. Ian took that like on 3 week, 4 weeks notice. Carlos had a full camp and it's got picked apart by the not like he's got pieced up by the boxing in the 5th round. He almost got Ian out of there. He was close, but
Who's he
but
supposed
but,
to?
but for those 4 rounds though, Ian was giving him issues that whole time until Ian's arms just gave out after taking the fight on short notice. So I think it can kind of be similar to that. It's Leon really beyond with the boxing. He even said in the media day it's 100% refreshing. It's just like it's like his first striker in like 4 years. So I hasn't had a striker in a long time. I mean, that is crazy. He went from Bilal to you said Usman, Bilal, then Sean Brady. So that's crazy. So I do think he can get this win, most definitely. And I think it might be like in dramatic fashion. I think it will be a close fight, but I got Leon Edwards by decision to win this fight.
I'm so happy you're on the same page as me. Like I didn't think I was crazy. And dude, yo, if this fight's getting that sticky, this dude Leon Edwards could wrestle the fuck out of Carlos Prates, bro. Leon Edwards, didn't he come into the UFC with really good wrestling?
He was the first fighter to take down Usman. That was a trip, but it was still a
Yo,
takedown.
he could fucking wrestle. And if he gets on top, he's holding Carlos Prates down, dude. He's good, bro. And people forget that because he's fighting all these high level wrestlers.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna show levels, bro. It's the weekend to show levels.
No, I agree. Most definitely. Going into Sean Brady versus Michael Morales, the guy Leon literally just lost to. Man, like Sean Brady, a really, really strong grappler and a really, really strong frame at 5'9". I get 5'10". I mean, I don't want to say undersized, but he mainly has the height disadvantage in almost every fight that he's in, so it's not foreign territory to him. He's getting better with the striking. He was always a pretty good striker, but now I think he's just getting better. Really refining his techniques, being in his prime at 32, going on 33. And yeah, man, I think shout out to him for taking this fight. He did not have to take this fight. He's the number one contender, rightfully so. He beat the number one guy to take his spot in London at his home at that. So, yeah, he's a great fighter. I do think he most definitely will be at the top for a while. And now he's fighting Michael Morales. This guy has really good boxing, really good striking in general. I think he's pretty well rounded, but he did allow No Magny to hold him against the fence at one point, but we saw how that fight ended. And I just think that was him being nervous. I think he was just really being nervous in that one, and it was giving him issues. But now, like being 26 years old in the prime of his career, I just think he's really turning a corner every fight that we see Michael Morales. He's a good fighter, man. Like he has a pretty big reach advantage in this fight. And I do think he will use it. And he knows how to the way he boxes, but like to like his full extent of his range. I think he's a really good boxer, the way he'll use his technique. Um, And yeah, man, I do think that Michael Morales can get the victory here. I'm betting on potential in this one. I'm not literally betting, but I'm picking potential in this one. Uh, I think you'll be able to stuff them takedowns, man, and like really be able to fight and strike with this dude. I think it's gonna be a war. I think it's gonna be a really, really good card from top to bottom. You know, Michael Morales could challenge for the belt before the age of 27 if he wins this fight. So we'll see how it goes. I do think it's a really, really fun fight. Um, and you see how many welterweights they have on this card. They're trying to get that division moving 100%. So I do got Michael Morales to win this fight via decision. I don't know if he'll actually. I'm gonna go with a third round KO for Michael Morales. And I think this guy's super marketable. Like I was thinking, like as you know, he sometimes he'll like like really dig into like the Spider-Man thing. You know how he's named, how the other Spider-Man's named Miles Morales. If this guy were to become a star in the future and he learned English, this dude could have such a cool aesthetic. Like how Sean O'Malley had grown men pulling up with pink haired wigs on. This guy would have dudes pulling up in Spider-Man suits to watch him fight, y'all. If he was like the defending champion and stuff like that, it's just it's written in the stars that he'd be so marketable. So I got Michael Morales to win this fight via third round KO in a war.
Hell yeah. Interesting. Dude, my bad. I've been waiting all day for this sale, this Black Friday sale. You know, Engage, you know, like Izzy and Volk, their brand over in
Mm-hmm.
Australia. They got the Black Friday sale on, so I'm trying to add to the car. I'm gonna spend a paycheck on some of this stuff because they're pretty expensive. They're like $80 stuff. It's down to like 30. But super excited for this fight. And you know, you said at the beginning, like, you know, he doesn't have to take this fight. He said something really cool at one of the press conferences. He was like, a lot of dudes, they want to call themselves number one contenders, but they don't want to take fights. You know, like he's showing that, like, you know why I'm the number one contender, right? Because I'll beat anyone under me, and he's proving that. So he's proving what a real number one contender is. And if he loses this fight, he's just showing that he wasn't the true number one contender. So I respect that a lot. This fight was a tricky one to pick. I didn't really know how I want to go. Brady's obviously the much better grappler. Like he's a super elite grappler. He's a really good MMA grappler, but he's also a really good BJJ competition grappler. Um, he's one of the most top heavy guys on the roster. Once he gets on top, you see it in the Leon fight, like dudes like him and Islam, when they get on top, their back kind of like spreads out. Like, you know, it's like their back's like this and it kind of spreads out over you. And it's just like, it's like a blanket, you know, like you open a blanket and it just opens up over you. He kind of wet blankets on top of people. And it's super impressive that he could do that and people can't get up. Morales is very high level striker. He's getting this fight for a reason. I mean, he knocked out Gilbert Burns, and they said he's ready for the top of the division. Um, I just don't think he's faced someone at a level of Sean Brady. I think there was a one fight before this one. I just don't like this step up. I really don't. I think maybe like a Buckley fight or something before this. I just think this is too quick. Colby, if they still have Colby fighting, I don't know if they do. I just think in this fight, Sean Brady could really show him levels, show him the difference, show him why he's the number one contender, why he was able to beat Bilal earlier in his career, why he was able to beat Leon Edwards. I think in this fight, Brady could just make this very frustrating. Just being relentless, getting him down. If it's a lot of cage fighting, just not letting this fight turn into a striking fight in the middle of the cage. You know, Brady doesn't have this crazy striking that's so impressive, in my opinion. I'm not really sure his knockout numbers, but what I know him for is his grappling. So in this one, I'm going to be taking Sean Brady to win this one by a decision. I think, like I said, he's going to show him levels. We could look real quick. I mean, if you know, you know, but I don't. What his knockouts? He has 3 wins by knockout in his career, and those would be to. Not seeing anything. So these were before the UFC when he got them. So yeah, I'm not too impressed. His 3 knockouts are all before the UFC, so I don't think he's gonna pose a threat to Morales on the feet. But I just think he'll make it annoying enough when it is on the feet with the level changing, the shots. So I'm gonna take Brady to win this one by a decision.
Hmm. Okay, most definitely. Yeah, it's a great pick. It's a super close fight, like I said. Most definitely. I'm surprised they made it, but it's just definitely could have headlined a fight night. But that lets you know why we had like Steve Garcia and David Onam. And again, like that's an Apex. The guys like they can definitely main event a card like that. But I definitely think they were saving all of these fights in, specifically for the end of the year. So I do look forward to this most definitely. It's one of the best fights on the card, and I think it will deliver. I think this can be fight of the night too. Either this or the Benil and Benoit fight will be fight of the night, most definitely. And moving to the actual Ultimate Fighting Championships title fights. So we got Valentina versus Zhang Wei Li. Um, Legendary fight. Some people thought it would never happen. It's finally that it's great that it's finally here. Don't really care about their ages. They still look good. Age, doesn't it can't really apply to professional athletes. That they're in great shape for 36 and 37 and 35-year olds. So, great shape period, regardless of age. I don't want them seeing this and thinking that I'm talking trash or whatever. Um, but nah, they both look great though. Starting with Valentina, obviously she's a great Muay Thai fighter, great stance. Her heels never barely touch the ground. Her fast twitch muscle fiber. She's extremely dynamic on the feet when she wants to be. Lately, she has been wrestling a lot, really digging into her grappling bag, using her strength to get the victories. We saw what happened in the third Grasso fight and that Manon Fierro fight. She was piecing up Manon in that first round, had her nose bleeding in the first round, and I think she was already on fire. That fight lit a fire under her. Absolutely, just having more doubters, people doubting her, and thinking, wondering if she can still compete at this age, compete at this high level of it at this age. And she's a great fighter, man. She's one of the greatest fighters of all time. Arguably beat Amanda Nunes. She's fought literally like she's fought the greatest female fighter of all time and some of the best ones outside of that. And man, like literally one of the greatest of all time. My favorite fighter, regardless of gender. I've said it millions of times. He is my favorite fighter, 100%. So it's great to see her on this card. And I don't know how long we have left of her, on embedded. You could tell she's still super motivated, still 100% wants to keep fighting for the next 3-4 years if she can. She'll fight plus 40. She's just a fighter at heart. Um, but man, it's a close fight, man. And going into Whaley, the former strawweight champion, she did step up, vacate her title. Two-time champion at that. Great striker herself. Good elbows, good Muay Thai, good leg kicks, body kicks. She's a great wrestler as well. Can grapple. Can spam the takedowns if she needs to win a fight. We saw how she beat Amanda Lemos, really nullifying her power with just a smart game plan. Also has high fight IQ, as we have all seen a bunch of times. She's a great fighter, man. Like I'm really happy this fight is happening. Um, it's a really interesting fight, but my pick, I was gonna go with Valentina Shevchenko. I think she's fought and beaten some of the better girls. She lost to Grosso. Like if she doesn't do that spinning kick, she might win that the fifth round and never ever ever even go through a trilogy with her. But I mean, man, like I just think she's still a great fighter. She could strike, she could wrestle, she has great cardio, all 5 rounds. All she does is 5 rounds. There's nothing to her. And everything I said about Valentina can literally be said about Whaley. It's a really, really close fight. I think it's gonna be super, super, super dynamic. I think it's gonna be really, really close. Um, but I got Valentina. I think she'll control her. I think if she's able to control bantamweights, she can 100% wrestle a straw weight. Amanda Nunes could knock her out twice in both fights. So I don't think that Whaley's gonna be able to KO her. I think she'll land some good shots. It's gonna be good shots from both girls, but I think Valentina's gonna win the fight via decision. I think it's gonna be a great fight, one of the greatest fights we've ever seen. Whaley already has the greatest female fight of all time under her belt, so she could have another one here. And I got Valentina via decision to win this fight and retain her belt as flyweight champion.
I knew you were going to pick that, so I didn't. I knew you were going to pick that. I didn't expect anything else. That's a really
I
good pick,
mean, like
though.
she's a
It's
good
a
fighter.
really good pick in my opinion. Um, in this fight, I think the consensus expectation after seeing people pick Tatiana Suarez to beat Wei Li is that Valentina is going to be able to get Wei Li to the ground and control her for the whole fight and bully her and be the bigger fighter here. Um, Also, my after seeing that Suarez fight, uh, that makes me think it won't happen. You know what I mean? Like people were saying that Suarez was gonna win, and now they're probably gonna say that Shevchenko's gonna win, right? After seeing that Suarez fight, I'm not comparing Suarez to Shevchenko,
I was about to say.
but Suarez is a very high level wrestler. That's one thing you have to admit. Um, After seeing how Whaley dealt with the wrestling in that fight, she looked really good. And only after that first round, when she was down on her back, she got out of it. She got to her guard. So Whaley has um, really good pin escapes, and she's throwing up some subs. So I mean, it's like she almost choked out Yan Xiaonan in that fight, right? Honestly, she was put to sleep if we're being honest, and they woke her up between rounds because I do think Whaley put her to sleep at UFC 300. Um, I think Whaley's going to be able to scramble out of some of these situations when Valentina does get her down. Um, I think the striking is interesting because they fight completely different on the feet. Whaley is very blitz heavy, and she likes to get off angles and throw those kicks to the leg. Valentina Shevchenko is different, where she stands still and she's just like boom, she's just bouncing in front of you, waiting for you to do anything. And every fighter she's won against, she's been able to completely just demolish with that kind of striking, just sitting in front of you and waiting. And if you throw something, she just counters you instantly, throws the, like two hooks in, lands a head kick. And then anytime you blitz her, she's really good at circling off. So Valentina's someone who does the same things and it just completely works. She's not the master of all, but she's like or she's not like the jack of all trades. She's like the master of like two things that work really well for her in striking. Um, I think this is a very close fight. I do think this goes to a decision. Um, I think it'll be a split decision. Uh, I think only because Whaley is going to be the one initiating the exchanges. I
Mm.
think she's going to have the edge on significant strikes. Um, I, I don't know how effective Valentina is going to have for control time. I think she's going to do a lot of cage fighting, but I think Whaley's going to get out of a lot of it, and she could even throw up the submissions, dude. I think Grasso's a better grappler, but I mean Whaley throws up those submissions, and they don't look too bad. So I'm going to take Whaley to win this one by decision. I just think, like I said, she's going to be initiating more in the fight, while Valentina's very counter heavy. Um, and Wei Li just like her fights, she picks it up as the fight goes. Like once a few strikes land, few strikes turn into a lot of strikes. So I'm gonna take Wei Li to win this one and new.
Yeah, man, yo, like it's whatever. It's a close fight. I think it's better that we disagree on this one, so it's a little bit more fun when we're watching it. Most definitely. It's a close one, man. I got Valentina. I think she's fought way better competition. We've never seen her get knocked out. We've never seen her. She got submitted, but again, man, I'm not even trying to move the goalposts. Like, if she don't throw that kick, I don't think she gets choked out. It's not like she took her down and Valentina just had nothing on her back, and Valentina was getting ground and pounded, so she had to roll over, and then Grasso flattened her out and just it was not like that, man. And like I just think that like she needed that loss to set that fire under her, and she loves when she's doubted, and she likes a big competition. She's fighting another all-time great in this one, so I think a Moda Valentina is the most, I guess, like literally one of the most dangerous women on the planet. They face the earth. I don't care if she's at the grocery store. You feel me? So, yeah, man, I got Valentina to win this 5-8 decision, unanimous decision. To me, a close fight, most definitely. Split could happen. I would not be surprised. I think it goes to decision either way. But yeah, going to the main event though. You can break it down since I went first on the co-main.
All right. Here we go. We got the big fight here. We got JDM versus Islam Makhachev, dude. Been waiting a long time for this fight. I'm not gonna wait and hold you guys off on who I'm picking in this one because I think I made it very clear where I stand in this fight, and it's not coming from a biased perspective because I explained why I think it's gonna be in this fight. I have Islam Makhachev winning this one. Listen, I think Islam Makhachev is on a level that people just do not want to admit he's on. People don't want to call him the pound for pound best in the UFC. Why? They want to give it to someone else, but Islam has proven this dude. He's beat the pound for pound number one guys. He's defended the lightweight title. What was it, 4 times, dude? I mean, his resume speaks for itself. It's very impressive. His first title defense was Volkanovski, and people want to still use that excuse he was a smaller guy. Volkanovski is an amazing fighter, and he fought an amazing fight in that one. That was a close fight. You know, it was one of the greatest UFC fights of all time. People do admit that. It was an insane fight. Um, Islam is very good, dude. He has very good striking. He's has elite submissions. He has that crazy Darce choke that a lot of people are expecting him to win by. Um, he showed levels to a lot of dudes. I mean, he had a very tough fight with Dustin Poirier, which is good for him because Jack Della Maddalena is like a bigger Dustin Poirier, someone who could extend their combos, who could stuff takedowns, who could throw up submissions of their own. I don't think against Islam they're not going to be, submitting, right? But dudes who work the body punches. I think one thing we're going to see a lot in this fight is when Islam does try those tie clinches, JDM is going to be throwing those body punches that Islam does not like. We're going to shift over to JDM because I also am a big JDM fan. There's no secret about that. I've liked him for a while. I don't think he's fought the same competition as Islam by a mile. He's fought, his best win is Bilal Muhammad, a very good win. I think
He was
Bilal
on a
is very
13
good.
fight. He was on a 13 fight win
Yes,
streak when he
and
beat that
I,
man.
I think Bilal is a very good fighter. Aside from that, people like Hafez, who he had a very tough fight. He was on short notice for that, Jack.
Two days.
He did have a split decision, I think, with Hafez. He beat Kevin Holland, who might be a gambling suspect in the UFC. We have to check about because he might be the Terry Rozier of the UFC, and he's betting on his unders. Um, I think Jack is very good. I said this to Antoine. I'll say it to you guys. I think Jack does have a path to victory in this fight, but it's only by a knockout. Um, I think it's very possible, right? Everyone's like, "Oh, Islam got chinned 30 years ago, whatever." Yeah, like I think Jack has the power to hurt him. But it's not, you can't call Islam a lightweight coming to welterweight. He was a huge lightweight, and he's a very big fighter for welterweight. You've seen the pictures of him; he looks huge, and we're gonna see it in the cage. You know, like I said, I'm gonna take Islam to win this one by submission. I think he does choke him in the third or fourth round. Uh, I just really want to know, and you could throw this into the end. What, like I asked you this, like, and I just want just the answer to this. Like, you could say whatever you want. I just want the answer to, like, if Islam does show levels in this fight and it is one-sided, you know, like then what? Like, you know what I mean? Is he the pound for pound number one? Like what goes from there? I want to know like what happens with Islam, what happens with JDM. Say that at the end. I want your breakdown.
Yeah, nah, for sure. Like you broke down both fighters very, very well as always. Yeah, I'm on the other side of this one too. We've been talking about it. I do have the welterweight champion Jack Della Maddalena to keep his belt. I think it's gonna be hard for Islam on the feet. I think it's gonna be a lot of issues. We saw Dustin Poirier give him problems. People, I get it. Like he had a staph infection in New Jersey at UFC 310. That was 30. Yeah, that was 310. Nah, that was 301. 301. That was fuck. Because that was that New Jersey card. It was
What are you
on
talking
June
about?
10th. That's what it was. I was talking about when he fought when Islam had fought Dustin. I forgot what fucking card.
Oh, that was
Damn, I forgot what card. I mean, you can just click on his name to find out, but it's not
oh
important.
02? No.
Um but yeah, like I think Dustin, if a
Oh 2,
35-year-old
yeah. Oh 2. I knew
yeah,
it.
302. If Dustin is giving you issues, I do think that Jack, who is in his absolute prime at 29 years old, uh 100% will give him problems. The way he rips to the body, not many people do that on Islam. They don't really try to attack him to the body and zap that gas tank. I think how Jack's gonna have to worry about the takedown. Islam's gonna have to worry about the bad body shots, and that is gonna play a role, especially carrying more muscle he's never used before in a fight. It's 15 pounds, so it's definitely a pretty high jump, and that's what he'll weigh on the scale, not what he'll weigh in the cage. So, yeah, man, I just think it's gonna be hard. I think Jack's gonna be able to get back up to his feet. He stuffed those takedowns very well. He has really, really smart camp. They broke those takedowns down to a science in terms of like the force that's exerted, how you reverse the momentum of the takedown and just get back up to your feet. It was crazy how they really just made it look that simple against Bilal, and he did indeed stuff most of those takedowns. Got back up to his feet and really picked him apart. I thought Jack really faced most of his adversity, like in the fourth round, fifth round of that fight, and that was mainly because that was his first time ever going 5 rounds. He didn't even have a main event on his way up. So, I think for Jack, uh, I think it's gonna be like a good fight, man. I think it's gonna be an extremely high level fight. It's gonna hit the ground. It's gonna be on the feet. But I think Jack's gonna win those exchanges on the feet. I think it's gonna give him problems. And I think once he gets that takedown timing down, once he gets that confidence, I think it's gonna be a real hard fight for Islam Makhachev. Trying to get the fight to the ground, while also anytime they get back up to his feet, now you have to sit out there with that ocean and try to box with this dude. It's gonna come down to Islam's power. If his power is going to hurt Jack and gain Jack's respect, that's when we'll see Jack go through the adversity. But Jack's on an 18-fight win streak himself, just like how Islam's been undefeated the last 10 years. So I think he's a really high-level fighter. He's looked good the moment he touched down on Contender Series, Jack Della Maddalena. So he's only gotten better with the boxing and the grappling, and he's young as well. So I think it's a hard fight for Islam Makhachev, and I think he has the style to beat Islam. And I was going to go with Jack Della Maddalena to win this fight via split decision. I think it's going to be a great fight, a really, really good fight. But I think Jack's going to keep his belt. And yeah, man, I think this is going to be about Jack Della Maddalena instead of Islam Makhachev. And even like on the outside looking in, I think it's better for the sport because it's a bigger fight if Islam is coming off a split decision loss and he goes back down in weight to get his title from the dude who he was talking shit about and the dude that was talking shit about him, Ilia Topuria. I think it'd be massive if Islam's coming off even just a loss on paper. If it was a split decision, some thought he won it, all that shit. If he's coming off a loss versus Ilia Topuria going back down to get his belt, that is a massive fight to see if Islam still has it. Don't know how MMA fans are. He might have just lost to a dude up a weight class, whatever. And like they might have tried to discredit what he's done in the past. Oh, he was never that good, shit like that, So I do think that Jack's gonna win the fight. And to answer your question, yeah, man, I think that Jack would just he's still young, so he would just go back to being like the number one guy, get some wins, get back to a title fight. And with Islam, I think he just moves on into the sunset. He tries to find some new contenders at welterweight, fighting bigger guys, just big, a whole bunch of bigger guys, a whole new chapter in his career. But I think he'd only defend the welterweight belt like once, twice, max 2 times. I don't think we have that many more fights with Islam. He's 34, going to be 35 next year. So he's only human, man. He's getting older. It sucks. He's been here for such a long time, and we saw him in his early, like his mid and late 20s. So we'll see how it goes, man. But I do got Jack Della Maddalena to win this fight via decision at UFC 322 after an amazing Hall of Fame fight.
Yeah, man, I'm super excited for that fight. That's one of those fights where, like, for me, when I watch UFC and these big fights happen, like, for me, they don't happen until I see them walk out and they're standing in the cage and the cage door closes and they're across from each other. Like the Charles and the Ilya fight didn't feel real until they were standing. The camera's on Ilya and it's on Charles and it pans to each other. Like those fights, they don't feel real until they're actually in front of each other. Like seeing John Joe, like when they say Conor McGregor's fighting the Michael Chandler at the White House, like it's like, oh, that's gonna be so cool. It's gonna be so cool. It's not gonna be real until the camera's on him, and they got the hand back, and he's holding the kid. You know what I mean? That's when it becomes a real. So like, for me, I know this fight's just days away, but it's not gonna hit until I see them in the cage looking at each other.
Mm-hmm. And I agree, man. I think it's gonna be a legendary fight. I think it will most definitely live up to the hype. I think it's gonna be amazing. And yeah, I'm just excited to see it play out. I just hope everyone stay healthy. We have a full plate on Saturday. 14 fights, not 15, but we even haven't had a 14 fight pay-per-view in a little bit. So I'm excited for that. And that's it for me, man. Most definitely. I thank y'all again for watching. As always, like I said, it's gonna continue to increase the consistency with this channel, and gonna do some better stuff next year in terms of graphics, intro, stuff like that. Absolutely, that is the goal, and that will happen. But for right now, I just want to get this card out for y'all. And we thank y'all again for joining us on the MMAHOLICS. And that's it from me, Nikki. If you got anything else,
I'm chilling, bro. I'm ready for this card though. Let's go. Let's go.
yeah, y'all enjoy the fights, get some beer, and some pizza, and relax with your homies. Y'all have a nice one. Enjoy your night, please.